That being the case, well, I'll give it another minute.
It's
Oh, look, it is 6 o'clock. Okay. Matt, are you ready? Okay. Good evening and welcome to our special budget meeting of the Menia Town Board, October 7th, 6 p.m. I'm going to go through the motions of opening the meeting, and then we'll go immediately into executive session where we'll talk to Mike for a little while, and then we'll come out of executive session and do the rest of the hearing on the budget, or the rest of the meeting on the budget in public session. It's a lengthy motion, though.
Were you supposed to do roll call first, Dawn?
We're gonna have to, you just open the meeting, really. is what we
Okay.
did. And then we're gonna continue how we always do it.
Oh, all right, that's great.
So you opened at 6 o'clock.
Okay, we'll start with a salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The emergency exits at the door you came in and this door here. And Dawn, you want to do the roll?
Sure. Supervisor Blackman.
Here?
Councilmember Zaher. Here. Ham.
Here.
Rebellard.
Here.
All present. Now you
Okay,
have a
yes.
motion to go into executive session.
I do indeed.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay. Oh, sure, of
We're
course.
just gonna keep the spread.
I move, are you ready, Matt? Okay, just want to make sure that I got the thumb. I should have looked before. I would move that we come out of the executive session and go into our regular public meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Highway?
So,
We're gonna start with highway. Is that on page 6? Is that the
Yes, we're
right?
gonna start with highway.
Okay.
okay.
All of the department requests are the same as that are on the tentative, so if you want us to walk through each one of these line items, maybe that'll be helpful.
Okay.
Since you know all of
There was one question I had, can I ask a question? So where it says, garage CE maintenance, is that for the actual garage or is that for the equipment?
Oh, hold on, you're back at the general fund.
Huh?
You're on the general fund, yes?
This, page 6.
Yes, so let's start with the general fund. So that is for, this is all the actual office,
Okay.
so the highway garage office. So the first PS line is the highway superintendent and the highway.
Secretary.
But yes, exactly. The conferences is the conferences, supplies are office supplies, and then as we work down, all of this is just part of the office.
Okay. So then we can go to page 10 for the
Yes, and
highway.
then we go to the
Okay.
highway fund, if we're all good with that.
Yep.
Yep.
Under general repairs, PS and CE, that's equipment repairs?
So PS is the highway crew, that's their regular 40 hours.
Mhm.
And then the repairs is repairs to,
It says general repairs PS and general repairs CE.
yeah, so the PS is the highway crew,
The
Right.
salary line.
the salary lines.
So that's, but,
What is CE though? So,
Contractual expenses.
no,
so
no, no,
that's-
what I'm confused by, it says general repairs, it's a category.
The road repairs,
It's-
roads for
Road repairs, that's what it is?
blacktop,
Yeah, okay.
anything that's
so,
lines.
Okay, so
So I
that's the
guess-
labor involved in those kind of repairs, not fixing a truck.
so
No.
my,
Okay, thank
I
you.
guess my question is, so Megan, we had a conversation about, no, you can sit there, I think, right? So we had a conversation about all the equipment that you had to have repaired and the cost of that. Is there enough money in this budget to
In this
keep
budget
up
right
your
now-
equipment?
Right now?
Well, well,
Next year's
both, I
budget?
guess.
Right now, no. Next year, it all depends what happens, what breaks.
Does that come out of the
Trucks are
CE line?
expensive to fix.
No, that CE line is for contractual services that we, like the bidding that you guys did, the awards a few weeks ago for backhoe and things like that, is in the
Oh,
general repairs CE.
okay.
It would be the machinery
equipment-
line.
The equipment repair line is down under machinery, and we had budgeted 55,000. Year-to-date through this week, the expenses have actually exceeded the 55. They're probably gonna be close to 60. So I think that the 60, which was the department request from Megan, should probably be increased to 65 or 70.
And I think that's what Rosanna was getting at, because
That's
Yes.
what my point was.
Yes.
if you get at 2024, we were at 82, so are we thinking 75?
You just never know what breaks.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hate to, raise the budget up and.
So if we
It's
don't-
this-
if we
That
don't-
line right there is number one that's always close, and it's getting.
Well, what if we did
lower.
65, because it's 10 more than last year?
I'd probably go 70, and we should apply some fund balance to offset the increase, because we have a significant amount of fund balance in the highway fund.
So do 70, is everybody?
I'm okay with that.
I mean, we should be realistic as to what, budgeting costs are.
Right. I mean, it is what it is.
If we budget too much and we don't have those repairs, that savings will go into the fund balance for next year, will offset the amount to be raised by taxes.
Does that work, Megan?
Makes sense.
Were we at 70 or 75? I forgot. what.
70.
70.
Megan, the 33,000 that was adopted this year, and we're saying, essentially 33, the numbers are a little different, but pretty close. And as of August, only 6,000 was used, but of course, that's only the other part of the winter.
Yeah. May I add, can we maybe go back to the top and work our way down?
Sure,
So we don't
Charlie.
skip any lines, I'm sorry. I think we've gotten past the questions around the general repairs PS, which is the
Mhm.
highway crew, the 130, which is the contract services. The CHIPS, which is Megan applies for, so you'll see that that is the exact same number on the revenue side under CHIPS. The capital projects, so this is, we have done 60,000 for the last few years, and then the board will have a resolution in the next month or so to move that into the reserve fund, so that it's used for equipment. Bridges, I think that's probably just some piping and things like that. We just raised the machinery repair, the diesel is diesel. The snow removal PS, this is overtime for the highway crew. So again, yes, so year-to-date, we haven't had a lot of overtime, but it's really all dependent upon how much snow we
have
get. Right,
between
so
now and the end of the year.
the highway may use a significant amount of that through the end of the year.
So then the 70,000 are the supplies for the snow removal?
That's the salt and
Salt and
sand.
sand, buy salt and sand.
That's what I thought.
State retirement is a number that comes from the state based on our payroll. Social Security is the 7.65% that we contribute. Workers' comp comes from our insurance broker. The medical, which we can discuss.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the snow removal again, because 2024 it was 30, just shy of 35,000. We budgeted 70,000 again, and we're at 29 already before going into this winter, right? Am I reading that right?
You're talking about salt and sand.
Salt and sand. So
Yeah.
the question is, are you making another purchase of salt and sand?
December.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not the middle season.
Right, that's what I'm saying, but we're already at 29 for
That's
like
January,
January
February,
through
March.
whenever? Okay, and we still want to budget 70,000 for next year? Okay.
Well, she may have another purchase that'll be 30 before the end of the year, so that will come close to what was budgeted for 2025.
Right, because we could have tons of snow between now and December.
But are you thinking that that's too much, Nicole?
I was just thinking, since we upped the machinery, do we drop that 10? But,
I think the machinery's probably that's how much the machinery's gonna be. That's the projection. Do you think that salt and sand is going down? Is the cost for salt and sand going down?
No.
I mean, salt is going
Nothing is going down.
No.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Depends on the winter, how much we use.
So under employee benefits, since most everything is straightforward, the training, under the new union contract, if approved by the supervisor and the highway superintendent, we will pay for certain types of, any training that's approved by both of those people together. There's one individual who is taking his Class A license.
Yeah, but that's like 5,200 for one, so you're only putting 7 in for next year? Because you don't anticipate anybody else getting trained?
That's reimbursing the Class A driver that's going now would be coming out of this budget.
Would be coming out of the 2025 budget. This would be for next year. Yeah.
Next year,
But you're not how much was it for the bees? It was like
I
4
don't have
something,
numbers.
right?
Numbers probably 3,000-4,000.
Okay, all right, so I see what you're saying, the A is getting
But
done
when
this year.
They fail, it still costs more each time.
Right.
They take it.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that that's enough, because we're advertising right now and we're offering training.
It's a good point. Do you want to add, I had encouraged Megan that she could offer training for people who didn't even have their CDL license, because we're clearly having an issue attracting
And that
candidates.
looks like that's what we're down to as of right now.
Right, and that's what we're talking about, is that
Right,
those
exactly.
numbers look between 42 to
If someone came in right
5,200.
now with a permit, it's probably at least January before they even time to go through all the classes and everything, you can get their CDL, they pass right away.
Right.
So the question that Nicole's asking, do you think that, budgeting 7,000 for the potential of reimbursing or paying for it, it's ultimately, it's an upfront payment, and then if they leave within 4 years, we claw back a
Right.
percentage. I know it's also like rolling the dice.
Yeah,
Do you want to include more?
yeah.
Do they have to renew it all, Megan? Once you have it, you have it, you don't, okay.
You renew it like any other license, every,
We like thank this for tonight?
yeah,
Like,
think about it.
Literally don't know how much a CDL take, go and take.
Right.
So I'll tell you that in the preliminary, I'll come back and it'll either be the same number or a little more.
Right.
And I'll make a note of all the changes, so that we know. Okay. And then on the revenue side, the real estate taxes is just the difference between the total appropriation less the revenue. So we are budgeting, again, we have a small account that we get some interest off of. In the New York class, we have two funds, or two accounts for the highway fund where we invest New York class money. So the first is the actual highway fund working capital, and then the second is the equipment fund, which is where that $60,000 every year we put into a reserve fund. And then the CHIPS, again, is just straightforward from.
So I had a question about, you mentioned earlier the fund balance, which I was looking on the first page, second page. What is the highway fund balance?
I just pulled it, I want to say it's
Well, it says 325 for the general fund.
No, that's appropriated, recommendation of appropriated fund balance to offset the budget expenses.
Mhm.
But the current fund balance in the highway fund, I know we're saying fund a lot. One second, let me just pull up the report. Oh, sorry. So it's August 31st, it was $565,656. So that's why my recommendation is to use some of that, like 25,000, ultimately to solve so that the amount to be raised by taxes was a bit lower, to use some of that fund balance.
In your worksheet, do you have the previous year's fund balance?
The fund balance that we applied to the highway last year?
Yeah, the previous
Yes.
budget.
Yes. I believe it was 50,000.
That was applied, but what was the actual fund balance before if things were applied?
Well, the fund balance, you calculate it kind of every month because it's really, the difference between your expenses and your revenue. I can look up what the fund balance was
I'm just
at
seeing,
year-end.
I'm just curious where we are on track with that for, this budget.
Well, the fund balance doesn't work with the budget unless you apply a percentage of it to.
You're talking about reserve fund or fund balance?
Fund balance. In other words, when we start the new, I'm sorry?
You'd have to look at 2024.
That's what I was asking for, yeah.
You want the difference between the,
Well, I was just
12/31.
looking at from year to year on what was taken from the fund balance appropriations, as you mentioned earlier. There's really nothing here that I can really compare it to looking at the budget, for this, the new budget.
okay. I think I understand what you're asking. Yeah, it was $50,000. So we used $50,000 $50,000 of fund balance in 2025. And I have kind of an historical effects, also part of the question of what we've appropriated in the highway fund. So, in the board in 2024 and 2023 did not use any fund balance, and then 2022, 2021, and 2020, they used 50,000, 40,000 in 2019.
So that's exactly what I'm looking for. So we have 565,000 as of August, and you're saying proactively it's 50,000 that would be, or tracking back to previous years they haven't been using, so the fund balance grows.
Yeah, the fund balance will grow if the actual expenses by the end of the year are less. than
Right,
what
no,
they
I
were
know how
projected.
it works, but
Yes.
that's why I'm saying, so now I'm applying it to, we're talking about adding more to the budget than it's already here, considering that there is a large fund balance.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Yes,
So that's, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So adding more money to a line.
When they already have a fund balance of,
Should we increase the taxes because of
Right.
that? No.
right, there's a lot of fund balance.
we should use fund balance. We should appropriately,
If there were no fund balance, your argument would be
Right,
clear, crystal clear,
Mhm.
but we have a huge fund balance and a history of not using, it's been building up quite a bit.
no, it totally has.
So that should we revisit that question of adding those certain things to the budget as we just did, considering that that information wasn't here and now that we know it.
right, because you're saying if they go over, they have fund balance.
It does seem like there are very few numbers on these pages. Charlie?
I agree with you to the extent that I believe
I
that.
think it should be revisited.
Okay, well, let's have the conversation now, because I would recommend that an expense line be appropriate for what we think the expense will be, and to make sure that taxes are not raised for taxpayers, to use fund balance as a revenue source to
Thanks.
offset those expenses.
Thank you, because that's exactly what I was looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
But-
we agree.
But now I'm wondering about how that applies to other, well, there's the general fund balance, and again, this is kind of new to me, but then we have this fund balance and how it applies to other departments and fund balances.
Yeah, so we only really have, the three, we have 5 funds, but the ones that are really significant are the general fund, which is the town, the highway, water, there's very little fund balance in water,
Right.
truthfully, right? And then you have 2 special lighting districts, and their fund balance is relatively small.
Right,
Yeah, so it's really highway and.
so we're looking at the
General.
larger ones, of course.
Yes, yes.
Mhm, mhm.
Now, the fund balance, the idea has been that a portion of the fund balance in the highway fund would be used in 2026 to purchase the lift for the garage. Because it's a piece of equipment, I think it's about $250,000. So that would be a great way of using that money
Sure.
so that we aren't having to finance it.
And again, without looking at, there's a line in here for equipment purchase already in here?
Well, the equipment purchase is for the, regular yearly maintenance of the highway crews equipment. This is a piece of equipment that would be installed and has probably a useful life of 20 years or something that would
Do
be.
we, so now that you're on that, do we have a list of capital improvement projects across the board for the town? Being that you just said one of them would be that lift?
No, that is something that we have been looking to do.
Okay.
We don't necessarily even have a list of all of our assets, truthfully. I mean, the highway crew, the highway department does have a list of all of their equipment. It's actually part of the AFR that we do every year.
Mhm.
We don't have a whole lot of other equipment, truthfully, throughout. I mean, we have TVs and stuff like that, but we don't maintain a lot of other equipment.
So that's not even half of what we're talking about, fund balance, if that one thing were to happen.
Right, but you also, the town would be advised to, the town board, to discuss a fund balance policy, which normally would have what is an appropriate fund balance. So sometimes that's a percentage of, the last 3 years, let's say, average of your budget.
Well, you
And
kind of
then-
already covered that.
We don't have.
No, I'm going back to 24, 23, you were going back on what was used out of the highway fund balance, 50,000, et cetera. So I'm just trying to get my head around that. It may not be a policy, but it is a trend.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's still, I mean, even with I'm trying to get the taxes for the taxpayers down here within reason, not just trying to pull something out just because I like it. But I think that there's a lot of more study looking at these fund balances and looking at the lines comparatively and looking at the history all at the same time, which is not here. So that's why I asked the question.
Okay. Okay. Did I answer the question?
Well, kind of, but we don't, I didn't get a chance to look at what I was looking for is what the CE for equipment purchase was. I'm looking for that now.
So the fund balance really is kind of emergency funds, correct?
Your fund balance should be perceived as a bucket of cash should your expenses kind of blow past what you had budgeted for. So generally, policies are like a percentage, it's not a reserve fund, but it is there. And you shouldn't let it grow massively because then you're holding taxpayer money.
Right.
Mhm.
But I guess my question is with the highway budget is with the amount of, the number of equipment pieces that they have, all of their equipment, and some of it, I believe, is older.
Getting older, yes.
So I guess my concern, and with the cost of fixing those being, getting higher, and the cost of replacing them higher yet, I think in this particular case, in the highway case,
Mhm.
I think that we need to keep the reserve a little bit higher, just simply because there's just too many things that can,
But it's,
costly things that can go
I guess what
wrong.
I'm saying is significantly higher. So the machinery CE, once again, is for
Machinery CE is repairs.
repairs. Okay.
This is not, just not repairs comes out of that, or uniforms, or radios, there's a lot of stuff that comes out of that.
Right,
Repairs.
right, right. All right, so again, I gotta get my head around it, I'm sorry.
Well, I guess Megan's really the expert on that. I mean,
Yeah, I agree, she's right here.
I know, so I guess my question to you is, do you think if we use it 200 and whatever it is for the lift, are you comfortable, do you think that what's left is too much? Or,
No, it's not. It's there, I wouldn't,
It's also there for, we have a major flood, it's
Right.
for.
Right,
and that was my point. I thought you wanted.
no. We leave it there for use versus raising the tax revenues from taxpayers more to cover other things, because we already have it there, and which is significant. So we don't need to raise taxes, that's my point.
But that is appropriating the fund balance, so that's what we're saying. You
Right.
should budget for what we believe are going to be typical expenses.
Which you've outlined in the history going back over the years, which is a significant lift. So now we have a lift, which is gonna be not even half of the fund balance.
I don't understand.
Well, somebody mentioned that we'll be purchasing a lift for $250,000. And the fund balance is what, 565?
Yeah, so if we do that, then that brings the fund balance down to, and we appropriate 50,000 now, so that puts
Right.
about 300,000.
Right.
So now you have
Which
250
right.
change of fund balance left, which I think is an appropriate fund balance
To
for a
keep.
budget that's around $1 million.
Right, which we're not going to draw more taxes to appropriate more fund balance, because it's
You
already
reduce
there.
taxes by appropriating fund balance.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't need to be upping taxes, because it's already there. I guess that's what I'm saying.
I think we are agreeing, we're just talking past one another.
Right. So I
So-
kind of get where you're going.
What you're saying is you want to take some fund balance
Listen.
and offset the taxes. I'm saying the same thing.
I'm a real estate broker. That's what I do. I'm not an accountant.
Honestly, I thought you were trying to say that, like, back to the machinery CE line, where I had suggested upping it, you're saying we don't need to. That's what I thought you were trying to say, because we have.
A significant fund
And
balance.
I'm saying it in a different way,
Right,
and you get what I'm saying.
yes.
We're all agreeing, I think.
Okay.
All right?
Love when that happens.
So I would recommend that I put 50,000 of appropriated fund balance onto the revenue side for the highway fund, and then we're all
Excellent.
fantastic.
So is that it for the highway garage?
I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.
All right.
Is this a public hearing also? So that if I wanted to make any comments at the end, I could, or no?
No, we don't do that, but we will have another meeting next
Yeah.
Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not on the agenda.
I guess once the final thing goes through, that when that happens?
Yeah, our public, she just wants to make a public comment, not a public hearing.
Right.
The public hearing on this
November
is
6th.
into November.
No, thanks.
But
But you could make
You can always
public
comment.
comment at our meeting on the 16th or 15th. Thank you.
Okay, so then if we can go back to the general fund, and I'm starting with page 7.
Yep.
Programs for the aging.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So, there's no personnel services.
I think pretty much everything is what you requested is the same as your request.
Yeah, my only comment is on the contractual expenses. Let me see that, yep, on this one it's fine, it's another one I think there's an issue with, it's the revenue side of the programs for the aging. So if everyone's comfortable with that, I'm going to do it.
I'm sorry, with which, Judy, the whole thing or something specific?
No, the revenue side of programs for the aging.
Where is that?
It'll be on at the very end of the general fund.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go through the expenditures part first, right?
Yeah, let's go through the expenditures quickly and see if anybody has any comments or questions. So the senior trips, the picnic, is what was requested, because it's sort of,
Senior trips, I know it shows we didn't spend anything.
I think that's because it's a senior trip.
No.
Was that was that going to the boat?
Let me see, true.
We didn't call it a
Yeah,
senior
because
trip.
we didn't have trips until September.
Yeah, so that's what
They
it
won't
is.
show up.
It will be coming out of that line, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not calling it senior.
Right.
Right.
adult.
Mature.
Yes.
Right.
And the picnic, I don't know why that's not showing more
The picnic and.
because that
Was
was,
that the picnic that
Was it-
was at
Yes.
fire?
Senior picnic, yeah.
so I'm not sure why that's
Was
not.
it, was stuff donated? Was the?
Oh, no.
No. The hall might have been.
The hall,
We didn't,
yeah.
and yes, they were very nice and did not charge us the $400 or $450 hall rental.
Do you remember the vendor for the,
We did all local, so
Yeah.
it was multiple,
Multiple.
I wanna say it was around, what was it, 1850?
Yeah, it was around 1850 total.
Yeah,
and so it was multiple,
yes, we did Four Brothers, Bistro, the Ye Kitchen,
Santos.
Santos,
Bistro, oh, you said that.
yeah, Four Brothers. yeah.
Four Brothers Bistro.
Silo,
Santos.
Silo donated the cupcakes, so we didn't pay for
Yes,
desserts.
Silo donated the cupcakes. We did.
Oh, we
Ye
did,
Kitchen.
we bought cookies from Food Town,
Yes.
Fresh Town, so.
Oh, okay.
and when you submitted vouchers for them all, did you include, sometimes people forget, but including the general ledger number would be helpful, because that might be
Well,
why it didn't.
Yeah, I'm looking for it here, and I don't see it on my.
Well, Marge
Yeah, so-
usually
I know, but it's really
proofreads all of
not
our
hard.
stuff, so
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know why, I'm
I see
wondering.
senior picnic on here, but I do not see it on what I asked for in budget, so let me see, programs for the aging.
It says you requested 4 and there's 4 in there, I'm just concerned where.
No, that's senior trip fees, that's not the senior picnic.
Well, the picnic.
picnic's
Picnic is the
underneath.
second
Too.
one.
Second
There it is
line,
on the second page, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
There's
So, no, I requested.
3,200.
The trips I requested 4,000, the 4,000 rather. The picnic was 3,200, and what we spent was 2,047.53. But we also, I worry that it's going to be perhaps more expensive because food expenses are still going up.
Right.
And we also did not have as many people, although we had extra food too. So I'd like not to get caught with You know, we can't necessarily count on Silo providing cupcakes next year, so
Right.
we don't have to worry about that.
Well, I think you offset it by taking off the rental.
Yes, I
venue.
mean, I took
Right,
that
that's
because
right. So it's-
apparently the fire department has not in fact asked us for the money every year. When I asked Marge, she said they don't ask for it, so good on them. I really, you know, I had no idea we're not paying it. So that, you know, that came down at least. So, you know, we took off $450 there.
Do you think that you need more?
I don't know that it
3,200?
needs to be 4,000, honestly. I think we could probably.
For senior trips?
I mean, for the picnic, I don't think that it needs to be 3,200. I think 3,000 would probably be okay. I was just trying to make sure that,
Would you say we ended up spending this year? It was 27 something?
yeah, it's 2047.53 because there were some other little things that we brought.
All the flowers and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. The decorations,
You need containers for next time.
yes, the containers.
Yes.
And, yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
suggesting bring it down from 32 to 3?
So, yeah, you know, I could see, I could see leaving it at, 3, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe even bringing it down to 2,800, you know, I mean,
Got it.
Let's say 3, you might want to have a coffee hour or something.
yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, I thought to myself, if we, you know,
We'll leave it at
I'd
3.
like to have extra money for seniors, it's, even if it calls picnic, it would be nice to try to, make sure we can do it. And everybody was very, that was the other thing, the local vendors were very good about giving us the lowest prices they could. They really, I mean, Bistro, Santos, everybody, they really worked with us to give us a good price, and that's very much appreciated.
That's great. I had a question actually, since we're going to Parks and Recreation and we're starting with personnel. Are the lifeguards included in that number, or is your concern that who knows when
I have no idea where
the pool will be fixed?
where they were put.
Oh,
Because there's not a separate line for that, and there's no separate line for the fees that came in. Although I can add up I mean, I have receipts I gave out to everybody, so I can add that up. Well, I have the deposits, actually. There might be a couple of people who paid at the town clerk's office instead, but I know what we took in, so I can add that and let you know.
I would imagine that it's in the PS line.
I think it just came out of the
I think
PS
it just
line,
came out
yeah.
of the PS line, and that's ultimately where the lifeguards would go. Judy and I
Yeah.
were speaking while you guys were in executive session,
Yeah.
and we don't
Yeah, for this
foresee
year-
this coming year, the pool being fixed.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Our,
hope so.
I hope so too, but I
Is
know
that,
they're looking for like 250,000, they say, but honestly, I have a hard time believing they can get it done for that, so. And once they even get the money, they have to build it.
Right.
My suspicion is that that is not going to be done before next year, that's all. Which is when they have to do it.
if you think that we can make an assumption of how many days, how many lifeguards, an amount, and we can put it in the PS line if you
Yeah, well,
want to.
that's the other thing, I think that what I would like to do with the PS line is, because I don't know that we're gonna find another person who wants to work a number of hours. We've got a total of 40 hours in there. What I would like is permission from the board to say, let us hire 2 people, if we throw the lifeguards in there, that's fine too. Let us, authorize us to let either of those people do up to 25 hours per week. No total of over 40 for 2 people, no matter what, so that it doesn't go over the line. But give us a little flexibility if we don't have somebody else to be able to get more hours out of them, because, you know, the trip I just went on for the cruise was 6 hours. Now, Cassidy didn't go because she gets, motion sickness, but if she had, that would have been 6 hours right there.
right.
There are times when it's very hard to keep it under 20. I'm trying very hard to move a lot more onto her back to take care of with the oversight and that sort of thing. So it would help very much if we could go up to 25 for one person. And if we get 2 people, terrific, then it can be lower for each, but I know we don't want to hit the number of hours where we have to pay insurance. So, I would just like a little flexibility with that, and of course, that doesn't come up until the reorg meeting, but still, I wanted to bring it up now. I would like a little flexibility for that if we don't get somebody.
And we've had that discussion, and I think, I don't think there's any reason that we can't do that.
Yeah. So I think the takeaway then is that the budgeted amount is probably plenty to cover
Yes.
1 person, 1.5 persons, and lifeguards.
Yes,
Right.
and especially because it would only be for a relatively, I'd love to see it happen by fall, but a relatively short period of the year, so
So I have
I think we're okay.
I have a question. It looks like there's three PE lines here, PS lines, excuse me. So we got, the first one under Parks Recreation Administration.
That's
PS.
the 2 maintenance.
Uh-huh. And then there's a Recreation Master Plan.
That's not a PS line.
That's not PS, we've applied for a grant.
That's a
And-
CE line.
Yeah, that is completely
That doesn't say
covered by
so-
the grant. If we
Yeah.
don't get the grant, we don't spend the
All
money.
right, and then there's another one with the 25,000, I think you were talking about, which is the,
Amelia Park CE.
Yes,
Yes, that is, things like I had asked Charlie, that's things like remind me again, because I don't remember.
It's all the items that happen in the
yeah,
park.
I'm sorry, I was getting ahead of myself here, I was trying to get back to the lifeguard thing and find out where that is on here, because I don't follow.
Well,
It would go under the 44.9.
it's not here, it would
It
just
isn't there,
come
right?
out of the total.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah, it's coming out of the administration.
We have to, I mean, Marge, the town board, whoever, would have to add a line
I
and
see.
start paying it again.
All right.
We didn't this year, and we probably should have, but.
So that would increase the amounts that we're talking about here altogether.
And did you
No.
pretty much break even?
It would not? It would not?
No, it would not.
Okay,
It would come out of our total, and that's it.
all right, cool.
So, and that we get money for, people pay.
Yes,
So we get.
that's at least
That's on the
offset
revenue
to a
line.
certain extent.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
It costs us a little bit, but not much. I
Right.
mean, it's sort of like senior programs, it costs us a little bit, but.
Right,
Well, the traveling, that costs us more, but we provide travel and things like that, but that's what we try to do to, provide something for our seniors.
yeah, oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any other questions on the park and recs, or any comments?
Yeah, the summer music concerts line has been increased from 60
65 to 7.
to 7, and the appropriations were right about 4,000. That was for this year.
I don't think that's correct either.
Well, we're not done. I know it says summer music, but that's another thing. Perhaps we should simply change it to music. We're using that to fund the bands at the Harvest Festival
Oh, okay, all right,
and
that makes
to
sense.
contribute towards the choir
I see.
that's coming in.
All right.
So it's really a music line, so like
Are
I
we
said.
also, are we paying for the Celtic
I was
one
gonna
as
say,
well in
is that-
December?
We are, and we're
Okay.
gonna have to move a little bit more money into it, which is why it has to work, so.
So that's another thing. So it's not
Youth
just-
soccer, we cut in half.
Yes, because we found that it is not, in fact.
Supports.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's much more self-supporting. I did want to talk about the ballpark lights though, because Charlie had recommended that we increase it from 5 to 6. I'm not sure 6 is enough, because I'm looking at the August report, and we're already like $78 away from the 5 we had this year.
This is the electricity,
Yeah,
so.
But- I think, I was talking to Marge about this, I mean, they are not gonna be turning on the big lights anymore, that's what drives up the cost.
well, that's what I had a question about. Somebody told me that whether we turn them on or not, they charge us per month. And I mean, some,
We do have a delivery charge that will be charged regardless, but it
but I don't know how
probably.
much it is.
We used to have, I was gonna say, I thought we shut
You
it
should
off at
shut
the end of the
them
season.
off. And so the time that they've been on, they were on quite a bit more for all of the baseball games. The usage was, it has increased.
Okay.
But we used to have to shut them off by October 31st, because you shut it off, and then they can't be
And
turned
then
on for
they don't
November.
charge us anything?
Then
for this?
we didn't have those charges. That's why Chris was always adamant about that.
So
You
we
can't
should-
do
so
a shut.
who do we contact to shut?
Sean,
Okay.
Sean will shut it off.
Okay, great,
And
thanks.
but you gotta let the
because-
soccer people know, because I don't know when that season ends.
We don't use the lights.
You guys aren't playing any night games?
No. No, it's
And
all.
there's no
Not
baseball right now?
after this, there's a fall ball, but not
Yeah,
after
there
this, no?
Make sure there's nobody using them, and that's Sean to shut it off now.
Which is another reason I would like to talk about having those gates closed and locked, but
Did you hear what she said? Make
No,
sure
sorry.
nobody's, yeah, make sure nobody's using it, so we'll turn it off now.
yeah, no, we're not,
Yes.
Rec is not,
I already asked
Sponsor
Fall
any
Hall, they're
programs
not having
then.
any night games.
yeah. Yeah, they're ending very soon,
Yeah.
so it's,
And they
But I
just
still
get
think
turned
that
on.
6,000 is appropriate.
Oh, yes,
because
no.
It's gonna go up next year.
Right.
yeah.
That's fine, I just think we need to be aware that we need to shut them off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that
good.
was all I wanted some explanation on, because I've heard different things from outside. I don't know, I don't think the bills.
Yeah, it does tend to, we get very close, if not go over, almost every year.
Okay, okay. So 6 is reasonable on that, so that's fine.
Anything else?
So we explained the concerts and the soccer we did. The Harvest Festival, yes, I mean, we funded it this year, but that's for next year. The adult program, if people are comfortable with that, we're really trying to offer more through the program. And we've got the paint and sips, which we've been doing, which are very popular. I'm trying to see if we can set up a senior Christmas dinner, which apparently we did in other years. So we're trying to get more stuff going. So I would appreciate the increase.
So maybe we can go just to, I think we actually already went over the revenues last night. There were only a few that were associated with rec. Nicole, you thought that maybe the soccer could come up a little bit?
What page are you on?
Page 9.
Oh, okay, I went too far.
I think the sports fees, 2001 is the soccer, and maybe it's something else. Year to date, it's 55, 65.
We're already over, yeah.
So do you think that we could go higher for at least 55, if not 6,000?
Oh, yeah, I would say we could go to 6, absolutely. We're gonna try to lower the sports fees, but that also is including the couple of senior programs, adult programs that we've done. And so, again, I need to talk to Marge, and maybe you can break that out afterwards, but we are charging, like for the cruise, that was $34 each. We're also saving money on the trips because we're using school buses now, because JTR was really expensive. And look, it's not that they're expensive compared to any other tour bus, they're a tour bus. And obviously, a school who's not trying to make money is going to be cheaper, so that's what we're trying to use them.
And if it's helpful, I can put together like an income statement that you guys can use for all of these programming, so we can sort of see, you know, you can do a budget, and then you can do a column for actual. We can see exactly what it is.
Yeah, because I know soccer alone brought in 47 something change.
Yeah, it was,
And
yeah,
there
it
were
was
the only
almost
expenses for the
1,000.
shirts, the jersey, the,
Yes, I mean, with that budget, we bought new goals,
Yes.
which were more expensive than I thought they were gonna be.
Yeah,
But-
and some of the supplies, and that's one reason that the expenses went down too, is because,
But that's just it, like, we had the money this year, I wanted to buy,
Yeah.
like, the new gloves, the new goals, we need new nets, still we're gonna purchase before the end of the season, and then, that way we don't need that budget next year for that program.
you know, on the senior trip fees, the one thing I want to say is that, now, I can't read this easily, but the percentage, oh, well, this doesn't have it anyway. On mine, when I filled it out, it went from 4,000 to 2,000, 2024 was 1258. It's shown from going 4,000 2025 adopted, 2026 projection, and it says it's going up 59%. So I think the formula's wrong there. It went to the column that was 20.
you're talking about on the worksheet.
On the worksheet, yeah. But I don't know whether they see that. That's the worksheet. it showed it as going up, and in fact it went down 13%.
Judy, there's a line for new programs and a line for new program development, are those different things?
Is there a request on both of those? Let me see.
Well, one is joint youth program and one is youth program, so maybe that's the difference.
There's no request for joint.
There's no
youth program.
request for
Right.
any program
We
development.
zeroed
Oh,
out.
I see, because it's, yes, I was looking at the line next to it, I got it.
What are the total revenues for the Parks and Recreation? Anybody got that?
Total revenues for what?
Parks and Recreation revenue,
Well, we're gonna bump up to 30, you mean right now?
Total, yeah, projected.
Well, let me look at the August.
Well, right now it shows,
From there.
what was it, 5,600? But we just talked about bumping up the senior trip one to, did you say you want to bump it up to 6? The one that-
Yeah,
So,
because I think we'll get that next year.
so.
Is it
for-
53,600 the request? I just have something on a spreadsheet I made, and I'm not really clear on, so. It says revenues, 2006 request, Parks and Recreation, 53,600. I don't think that's right.
Well,
Revenues for program.
it is because the 50,000 is a grant, so.
Ah,
Yeah.
there it is, okay.
And ultimately, you're right in that this is not the line where it appears on our budget, it appears under state aid
Yeah,
as one solid number.
Yeah,
That
because-
was confusing.
because my report shows it as 1,053% increase, so I was curious about
Yes,
that.
it does, yes, it does. There's an offset to that.
Yeah, that's the answer. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we done with rec?
Yes, I just wanted to confirm, so we are increasing the sports fee line to 6,000 from 3,600.
Yes.
And you had mentioned increasing the senior trip event revenue line, or keeping it at 2,000?
Right now, the senior revenue, are there two separate lines? Because I don't,
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't
there's
see
the
it.
sport fee line, and then there's the senior trip event,
sports fees.
which is, we're gonna make 6, it was 36.
Senior trips at 2.
Yeah.
I don't think we're bringing in,
Any more than that.
right.
Okay, let's keep it at that.
Yeah.
then. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay.
Because again, much of that is offset. There's some of it.
50,000.
So we can move this now?
Oh, I don't know. Health insurance?
Yeah.
I actually had a couple of questions
We
on
need to
this
discuss the
before
health
we-
insurance and,
Hold.
and if we could go over what your conclusions are with your personnel.
Oh, okay.
executive, yeah, so that-
Thank you, Judy.
Okay.
Appreciate your going through all of it.
Thanks, Judy.
Oh, thank you. That was actually quite easy. That was easy. Thanks.
Yep.
Have a good
I
night.
had-
You too, thanks.
On, under media library, is the number that, amount to be raised by taxes, isn't there a ballot thing about the media library?
I've included, they're asking to increase it $20,000.
It's on the ballot.
It's on the ballot.
Yeah, that's the 414. 414 on the ballot.
Yeah, so it is included in the numbers.
Yes, their current budget is 245.
Oh,
and I
okay.
put it as
Okay.
265.
Got it, got
Right.
it, got it.
Yeah. So, do you guys have some decisions about the building inspector, about Mike's salary or his hourly? Oh, I'm sorry, have we gone into executive session?
Have we finished?
Are we ready to?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can.
Right. Are we ready?
Any other lines? He
Was
said he
it-
had a
Well, I
question.
just had, wait a minute, let me just
Oh,
look.
okay, yeah, sorry.
Is the health insurance gone over in executive session, or is that?
I want to just talk about the percentage.
Yeah.
Looks like I see a decrease.
We changed
It
in
is.
policy.
It is.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
There is.
Right, very many, I swear. Oh, the police and constables, if we decide to do the ticketing, that number would increase, right? I'm sorry, that's on page 5 under public safety.
Yeah, we discussed that last night about getting
Yesterday.
a price
Contract.
Yeah, we would have to have a new line because we would, I
Okay,
guess the idea was that it'd be contracted out to Dutchess County Sheriffs.
right. So we should get a price for that.
Do you guys want us to get a price and me to add a line so that you see, or do you just want it separately? I think it's gonna be a significant number.
Okay.
I mean, how frequently are you planning on having?
Well, that's the issue. I mean, is it just parking or is it parking and speeding? They do some speeding already, tickets.
I think that's gonna be the question, to see what we can get for what their contracts are, and what they're available, and then get a comparison of our surrounding towns that are using them and utilizing them, to see what their interest is before.
Oh, if they can even do
Yeah, I mean,
that.
I think that, the only thing I would say is, you're not gonna have an answer
Before
your next town board meeting. So they do have to have a preliminary to me by next Wednesday, so I think if we can come up with a number, we'd be able to have that number before the 15th, would be our goal.
You
I
said,
would-
you said it's $50 an hour, they got.
Yeah, but you
There-
have to
there's
pay
fringe
fringe
and-
benefits, there's like other
Oh,
lines that
There's
go
a-
into it.
It's more like 90, isn't it?
So when you look at your bills for, when they do other special services here in town, you guys sign up a voucher every month usually. That would be, kind of give you an idea, of that's only how long is the service, you know, that's just a couple hours. So you're gonna wanna think about, how many hours a week, and what are you looking for?
And so my question to what we're looking for is, and I would suggest again, that when the Harvest Festival is over, we ask the deputies to put up do a traffic study, like they did at Maplebrook, and they did a printout. And so if speeding is indeed an issue, and I think the report actually shows like the times where there's the most problem, then we could kind of go from there. So I think we have
Do they
nothing to
charge
base
for
it
that, or
on.
is that done?
No, I think it's done great.
Study.
Okay.
Request a study. But you also have other parts of the town, so when we're talking about parking, you have many town roads, because there's that parking on the pavement is throughout the town, including like Railroad Avenue, Depot Hill, Mechanic Street, I mean, the whole hamlet. You also have Firehouse Road, you have Old Route 22 in Wausau. I mean, there's folks that park on the sidewalk down there. So it's gonna be all areas of the town, it's not just for the hamlet.
No, I know, the speed thing's just, what do we want to do for the speed thing?
So I think that we can reach out to them.
Okay, it's $80, it's about $80 an hour.
So if you're doing 10 hours a week, that's like $50,000 a year.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't think it was gonna be.
I mean, when you spoke to the people about tickets, the issue was that the tickets wouldn't pay for the expense of doing, well, that was equipment we were buying, so that isn't even the same thing. I
No.
guess the question is how much would it cost and how much would we actually bring in?
So I don't
tickets.
think that, I think until you actually start, you really have no idea. So at $25 for a fee for a parking ticket,
Yeah,
probably it's not going to offset, but it will be something, it will be some revenue. But the speeding tickets, I'm assuming, are more.
yeah.
And I think Dawn mentioned that if they're parking on the sidewalk, isn't that more than just
I
regular?
mean, I think as a whole, you guys are just looking for enforcement, and enforcement is really to design it and to complement the word safety. So we're trying to make our town more safe.
Right.
So that would be kind of like the whole theme, to be looking behind and what is it valued, so.
So let me make sure that we're walking away with this, before I forget, remember, fines are not a means of revenue generation or offset of cost of public safety, so just so that we're in that same frame. But that your intent is for speeding on town roads and parking on town roads, as well as the hamlet of Amenia, which is a state road. Those are the,
So we have to look at so the biggest concern I've heard about speeding is on,
22?
no, actually, well, speeding on 22, but also on 343. That's horrible sometimes. I've sat there and actually watched it, and people fly through there. And there've been a couple of accidents on that road, parked cars, accidents with parked cars, and so.
This is 343.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's around 343, yes. So I think the speeding issue, although it's an issue everywhere, I think to start with, I think we need to look at the hamlet of Armenia, the town, on 343, 44, although I'm not sure that's quite as bad, but 44, and definitely north and south on 22, especially during the early hours. I spend there out early and been at the red light, and that light is green going north and south, and those tractor trailers come flying through there. Now, the problem with tractor trailers is they can't pull them over because there's no place to pull them over, but at least if they see somebody, So I think that there are specific, for speeding, I think there are specific areas that are really a safety issue, especially where there's crosswalks, okay? So as far as the parking is concerned, Dawn has a whole list, and I think we need to look at that and I don't know
Well,
how.
I think we should test this not by doing the whole town. I mean, I think that we should focus on things.
Right.
22, 343, and the parking on Main Street would be a good, and mechanic would be a good start. Because if we try to do the whole town, it's going to be a lot of money up front. Let's see how effective it is on the places that we get the most complaints
And
about.
I do think presence actually is it does
Deterrent.
deter. And so there's that, and I think that there are, as I mentioned last night, there's some things that we really need to do. The parking in front of Dollar General has to have a better sign. I mean, that sign, it's actually been hit or something because it's kind of turned. One day I was driving, I said, where is that parking sign? And so I think that we need to do a better signage there, and I think we do need to paint those curves in front of Isabella's and in front of Dollar General.
Yeah, and that's easy enough to do in the highway crew, conceivably can.
Charlie,
I would think the highway.
I had one more question. What is the projected fund balance for the town going into 2026?
We don't really project fund balance. I can tell you what the fund balance was.
Sure.
The unassigned fund balance was $1 million at the end of August. This is all on your monthly reports that you get, the balance sheet, so you can see it
Yeah,
every
I was
month.
looking for it there and I didn't see it, so.
The
yeah.
monthly sheets.
It's the monthly balance sheet.
Oh,
It's on your
right,
balance
right.
sheet.
So
Yeah.
right now, we're at $1 million.
Yes.
Okay.
And the balance sheet and the operating statements are posted to the website as well for everybody to be able to see them. And they're posted there monthly.
Okay.
We'll watch that closely.
There was, I spoke with Leo briefly today, and I had suggested that there was 2 lines for training.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I had that written down.
For for Bridget and for planning secretary.
Whoever the planning
Whoever
secretary
it
will be.
is.
Yeah.
I thought maybe,
To bump
since
it up.
everybody else has it,
Mhm.
those are the 2 positions we didn't put anything in.
Agreed.
And then,
So that Bridget can go to training.
yeah, I figured
Mhm.
that they can all go down together.
So can you add 500 to each of those lines?
Which lines were you?
The budget, excuse me.
The building
Building
plan.
department training line,
In the planning?
and then planning.
Is there a training for HR?
Yeah, that would be an interesting, I mean, because it really, I mean, I don't think Nancy can do that without some additional
There
education.
was the training class that is offered, it's either June or July, up by Lake George, and I thought she went to it last year.
Oh, really?
It's at,
Nicole,
Sagamore.
what was the other one? The other one?
That sounds
500 for
nice.
building
Yeah.
and then
There
planning.
was a class I gave to.
Training.
It
We already had
was sent to me
planning.
and I couldn't go.
Okay.
So that's
And-
why I think she went to it 1 year.
Well, there should probably be money for her training too, because there's other skills that it would be great for her to have.
And then,
What page is that on?
So you want, so we had 1,000, I'm sorry.
no.
Oh, there is 1,000 in planning
There's
for
a,
training?
there's a
Yeah.
1,000.
That's-
Oh, but that's for the board.
You-
That's for the board.
That's the
Yeah. that'd be-
Yeah.
7 or 9 board
Where's-
members, we're talking about for the employee.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's
Yep,
where you
so,
want to add.
yes, yes.
Up to 1,500.
And then, since we did talk a lot about training, it's anticipated that there's an election in November. And, officers sitting at this table. So even for the even for the town board, for conferences, for 1,400, I don't know what conferences everybody was looking at, but you got the one that's gonna be offered, which the schedule, not the actual schedule, but the announcement has come out for Albany, as well as your AOT. So I don't know, you know, there's the newly elected class that is made available, as well as AOT, so I'm just throwing that out there.
And how much do we have for board training?
You only have
1,400.
We
1,400.
only have 1,400.
So the supervisor has their own line for training, and then so that 1,400 would be divided among the 4 individuals who will all be eligible for training.
So what is typically the cost per person?
I would do it on at least 500 per person, you know, as a conference, and then, so that would be 2,000 that you're putting in there.
So put that up to 3,400? You said
No,
add
put-
2,000?
No, because you're at 14,
Oh, do it
so
to-
like, increase it by another
Two.
$600
Gotcha, oh, okay,
Just
okay.
bump it up to 2,000.
to 2,000, so like all 4.
You got that?
And then, yeah, because then the
Charlie?
supervisor has their own conference line.
Okay.
That's good?
And that would, I mean, that could be used for Nancy as well as the supervisor, right?
The supervisor's line, no, that conference would be solely for that person, so maybe put the supervisor's conference line up to 1,000 then.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Charlie, page 3, we had,
Oh, you done? Oh, no, and then
Okay.
just the only other note that came up at some point of a conversation was that there was no confidential secretary for the supervisor, should the, you know, supervisor wanted to have their own. Because
so
there used to be
the
two
question is, do we
persons.
put that in the
Well-
budget? Because it's not in there right now.
I think that, I mean, in terms of the amount of work that I actually give one secretary, I think it would be insane to have 2 secretaries. I mean, people like know how to use computers. It's not like they have to take dictation or something. So it seems like an awful lot of salary and time for, I don't know what exactly. I mean, Nancy, you know, there's certainly stuff that she does for me, but I can't imagine having a second person. There's just not enough for anyone else to do. That's why I got rid of Lori. I mean, you know, it would be up to the next supervisor, but I think it's, you know, really, I just don't see the point.
And then, but the training was the big thing for the
So
girls.
training. And then Nicole, page 3, you said?
Yeah, the 75,000 for the engineering, do we know what projects we're anticipating that being needed for?
I think that Fountain Square is definitely one that's on the horizon there. If there was any engineering work that would be required for anything that happened in the building, would probably come out of there. And then if,
Isn't Delaware gonna have, wouldn't they start on a next project or not yet?
this is the general fund, so.
Oh, well, I
It's
see.
for
Okay,
water
yeah,
fund.
yeah, yeah.
And then Beekman Park, if there's something that comes out of the park master plan and is there. And then the raised park
In Wassaic.
and Wassaic. Those were kind of the 3.
Okay. If everybody's good, then I move that we go into an executive session to finish personnel, right?
Okay.
Session, Nicole,
Second.
Brad.
Wait, Dawn, did you think you were done?
I thought it was 7:56 for this.
Very exciting.
The goal was 8 o'clock, right? So 4 minutes. No.
Well, it would be nice.
Did you get that, Matt? Okay.
So
We need to wait till he shuts down before you start talking.